Yeah, to just get the look and feel of what Shoe for Africa All for Running is doing. I must say there's so much that is happening in this country that we actually don't talk about. There's so much positive things that are happening in this country that we don't talk about. And if we can retool our way of thinking and try to see the positive in the little that is happening around, we'll have a happier society. So what has intrigued me the most is the work that is going on here. And if all professionals can actually go back to their villages and come together and set up safe spaces for the young children, then this country will be a better place to live in. You're all aware of the purge currently, what is happening within the sporting industry, the issues that are affecting young children and young girls in the country, and even women in sports. We have actually recorded the highest number of femicide, I think, in Eastern Central Africa when it comes to athletes. And what has made me happy today is to find young children who are not only being trained to run, but they are being mentored, and the kind of training they are getting is a near 360 on what kind of young citizens they should be. And in my case, to actually find knowledge and how then can we help government to achieve the near zero rated issues to do with GBV, it's important that everyone actually gets out to the field, get to know what is happening, and then we curate solutions that can actually help the society. And I think Shoe for Africa is doing a good job. And what I've found is young children who are happy. If you listen back, you can see actually, or you can hear sounds of kids playing. They are young athletes, upcoming athletes, but this recreational facility, or I can call it a safe space for children, is actually not only feeding them, but it has other recreational facilities that they get. I am impressed about the cancer center and the hospital because, again, we have children who are being trained here by one of the trainers who is actually a renowned athlete. Their trainer is a lady, something that we've been pushing for. We actually need more ladies to train, so that we can have 360-degree approach in all the solutions that we are looking for. And this is it. I want to thank Toby and his wife and encourage them really that they can scale up and work with government. Government is also planning to put up safe spaces in terms of training facilities or clubs for young children, and this is a good starting point. You can mirror, you can partner with government, you can scale up, so that we have a whole mirror of the solutions that we are looking for within the government. So government is really happy to work with everybody. You've heard many times, several times, the President, His Excellency the President, saying he is willing to work with anyone who's willing to support government initiatives. And this center is one of them. They're already doing it. They just need to scale up, get into partnerships, scale up what they are doing, coach more people, so that we can have more people or more young children who are trained. By the time they are becoming renowned athletes, not only can they run, they can read. I have seen they have a library here. They can be able to speak a language that they can communicate, because that is also another barrier when it comes to athletes. They are not able to communicate. They can be able also to do analysis, of their safe spaces wherever they are. With Toby here, I would also ask them, they can incorporate financial and literacy training for the older athletes. How do we make the older athletes to be better for themselves? Femicide within the athletics industry is at a very high rate, and you can all of you know it's near intimate partner. It's all within our homes. So this is a good starting point, but because you can only cover a child, you can't cover grown up. So if you start coaching and mentoring the young people, then we have a good citizen as they grow up. So that is what I have seen here, and I'm truly proud of what they are doing and that are supporting the community, And it's now for us to actually retool, recalibrate, enhance what is already going, and even encourage the professionals in this country to go back to their villages We stop being professionals on social media. Go back home. If you see there's a problem anywhere, go fix it. When Toby said he was running and he could see many problems and he decided, I can fix that, I can fix that, I can fix that. We don't fix problems by making noise. You actually fix a problem by doing it yourself. So let's all get our hands dirty and get to work. Let's do it. If we feel we are strong enough to do better, go back to your villages and do it, because where we are right now is somewhere in Iten. And I take it upon myself to actually just mirror and see how many other camps do we have, what are those camps doing, what value are they giving to the community, and what else can we do to support them, to help them to build on what they're already doing, even if it's just a conversation on how they can improve the private, the private camps that are within the training institutions. And that's what we are looking for. Yeah. Being here, it means government is already here, because the work we do is on behalf of our appointing authority, who's the president in this country. We have done quite a number. The Ministry of Sports, you saw the other day, they put a committee to review the sporting arena so that they can enhance the laws, regulations within the sporting arena. That is not enough, because that is in athletics alone. But if we were to look at other disciplines in sports, we have rugby, we have lawn tennis, we have basketball. Personally, I played basketball. I couldn't go beyond campus because there was no investment in basketball. So it remains a fantasy. So within the athletes, there's a lot that needs to be done. Iten is actually the home of athletes, and they themselves can actually retool and change the athletics arena. Before even government comes, what are the issues that are affecting athletes here? You have mentioned femicide. All the murders we've had within the arena of athletes, it was actually intimate partner violence. Out of 5, 4 were intimate partner violence. If it's a criminal issue, maybe 1 or 2, but all of them, it's actually intimate partner violence. What does that tell us? It's about our society. It's about how we view ourselves. It's about how we solve problems. Are we resilient enough for us to be able to stretch our mental muscle to be able to deal with whatever it is that is happening within our homes, because those are love-hate relationships that have escalated to another level. So the question then is, how do we deal with those issues? It starts by coaching and training the young people, because once a grown man or woman is grown, there's very little you can do to carve and coach them to be any different. But if we carve young children, for them to understand what are their rights, what are their safe spaces, how do they operate themselves within a business arena, how do they negotiate their contracts as and when they become top athletes in this country, how do they use their finances? For instance, I have walked around Iten. This must be the 3rd or 4th training camp that I have gotten myself to engage with. And the story is near similar. Most issues emanate from the training camps, You find you have coaches, who marry the 5th, 10th wife because that person became a champion. And the rest are therefore left to, keep training, keep trying. So what are we doing to the society? It's a societal issue. It is not a government issue alone. Government will come in at the tail end to provide security, for instance. But before we reach there, what are we doing also as a society so that we change the narrative? We change our mindset, how we look at young children, how we look at women. Within the athletics arena, the coaches, how are coaches trained to train? There's so much that happens within the athletics arena. How do the psychosocial support of athletes happen? Because remember, for you to run and become a world champion, your mental status has to be recalibrated, because it's hard work every single day. You need to stretch your mental capacity. You need to have your brain cells well recalibrated for you to handle the stress margins that come with such competitions. But again, how do you handle a win? For instance, you get a lot of money, How do you make use of that money? That is another problem. Do you know that even if you're married to person X, even if that is your trainer, you as the person who won that amount of money, you have the right to decide what that money will do. You know, how do we protect these athletes from getting themselves into a muddied up relationship? You know, they must have the coaching and the training from the time they are young. Not only for them to handle themselves, but also to handle relationships. Also, can they be able to know that this relationship is toxic? And at what point do they take a walk, you know? So they need to be trained. They need to understand their space. They need to understand their rights. And also they need to fashion their contracts to support themselves. So that is what I think government is looking at doing by changing rules, changing policy, ensuring that all trainers are well licensed, they are well also trained. They are actually coaches who can actually coach. The discipline of coaching, knowing that when you coach, that is your office. How do you deal with office? What are the ethical values within an office? So those are the things that the government is looking at. And I'm sure by the time the femicide committee is done with its job, and the president put the committee in place the other day, it is now gazetted. We are waiting for them to be sworn in so that they can roll out and put a 360-degree approach in all the work that we are doing. So many people are doing many things. But now we are saying all these advisories, all this work that is going has to be consolidated so that we can have a near working solution for this country. And that's exactly what the government is doing, and that is the rallying call, and that is the near wish for the president, that we actually stop these killings. One life lost is one too many, and I don't think we can afford to continue having our top athletes being killed, noting the value they bring to this country. So thank you very much. I like the layout of the spoilers.
Hapa ndio mtapata picha nzuri. Picha ni tunatembea tembea.